Well, hello again. Pastor Ray Barnett here with you, and I'm glad that you could be with me on the Oasis. And as always, I wish you a good morning, a good afternoon, or a good evening, depending on what time you're watching this broadcast. I learned just a little while ago that in just under 2 hours from here, right where I'm sitting, Alec Baldwin apparently is holed up in the town of Manchester, Vermont, after the tragic shooting that took place earlier last week. And then equally interesting is that 2 hours in this direction, his brother Stephen's home can be found in Nyack, New York. When we compare the two brothers, we see, as is well known to perhaps many of you, if not all of you, is that these two brothers are diametrically opposed in many, many ways, both politically, philosophically, as well as spiritually. Now, when it comes to the tragic shooting that took place on the set of Alec Baldwin's new movie, we find a very interesting and somewhat, well, let me say it this way. The law that I want to bring to you today about this incident is rather compelling. Some call it karma, which is an Eastern term, but the biblical term is sowing and reaping. Now, I want to let you know that I'm not here to, number one, to adjudicate the case of Alec Baldwin and this shooting in the court of public opinion. That's a matter for the courts. Nor am I here to, in a sense, kick a man when he's down, because for many of us, it was during life's tragedies and during life's deep darkness and pitfalls that led us to Christ in the first place. And I believe such is the case between Alec and his brother Stephen. Stephen, as some of you may know, is a born-again Christian. He was led to Christ by his wife, and Alec obviously is not. Their opinions have been, and their somewhat diverse opinions, is widely known. But what I want to accent today with you is the fact that Alec Baldwin has been very outspoken in his political views and his views on gun rights and Second Amendment and so forth. None of this is a secret. First of all, let me just say this. Anyone who is a gun owner, especially with, well, not just especially handguns, but I'll use that illustration of a handgun. When you're on a range, you're always taught gun safety. Gun safety is absolutely paramount when handling any firearm. And if that same incident had been on a gun range, it would indeed be a tragic, and it seems to be accidental. But again, that's a matter for the courts to decide, not for me, and really not for you. But one of the things that you're constantly taught is that when there's anybody around you going down range and they're going to perhaps change their target or whatever, the gun goes down, you drop the magazine, you pull the slide, you clear anything that may be in that, hands go off the gun, and you provide a safe environment. This evidently was not the case with Alec Baldwin on the movie set. Now, again, I'm not assigning blame, because how would I know? Right? That's a matter for investigators and those that will be trying this case if it goes to trial. What I want to bring to you is this. Alec Baldwin made mention on several occasions about guns and how dangerous they are and all of this type of thing. Very outspoken individual. Yet, most gun owners have never shot and killed anybody. Most. The great majority of gun owners in the United States of America have not shot and killed anybody. And so it's a bit of, here's a word, serendipity, that this man who's been so outspoken on gun laws and gun rights would be the very person to shoot and kill somebody. Was it accidental? I think that would probably be the case. But again, it's not for me to say it because I don't know. I do know this, and this is what I want to bring to you today. There is no one exempt on the planet, starting with myself, all of you, anyone that's watching, anyone on the planet. None of us are exempt from the law of sowing and reaping, or what is commonly, the common designation that we have today is karma. What we sow comes back on us. Honestly, it would be my hope that this could bring Alec Baldwin to Christ, like his brother Stephen was brought to Christ during his troubled years. But whether that happens or not, I don't know. And again, I want to reiterate, I'm not here to kick a man when he's down. There are very passionate feelings on both sides of this issue in our country concerning this shooting. But I do want to bring to you the absolute truth that whatever we sow in life, we will reap. So to keep it simple, when we sow good things in the sovereignty of God, in the principles of God, the laws of God, to sow good things, eventually that's what will come back to you. And if we sow evil things, one way or the other, that is what will come back to you. You see, in dealing with anxiety, depression, and I'm making an assumption. I would have to guess, knowing human nature, and I've been dealing with human nature for a long time, that at the moment, Alec Baldwin is anxious and depressed. That's an assumption. That's an assumption based on human nature. But, as I said earlier, many of us were brought to Christ during deep crises in our life, dark moments and moments of despair. And what, again, you need to understand, I would want to presume that you understand this, but I won't assume or presume. But whatever we sow, that's what comes back on us. So, using an extreme example, such as the case with Alec Baldwin and this very, very unfortunate incident that took place just a few days ago, really. It was not that long. With your own life, you want to make sure that you don't give yourself over and get pulled into the hatred and into the bitterness and into the anger and into the jealousies and all of these things, because what it does is it will either produce symptoms, right? Not good symptoms, right? Obviously bad symptoms. And if you have symptoms, it will increase the intensity of those symptoms. So this is the sad truth in this particular case in the news at the moment, is the fact that Alec Baldwin sowed some things, and I'll use the word serendipity, but the biblical word would be providence. He's the very one that winds up shooting and killing somebody, which I mentioned again. The great majority of gun owners in America have never shot and killed anybody, meaning not any human being. Hunting is different. But you have to be careful, and I have to be careful, that we don't sow evil things. Jesus told us to love our enemies. This is not an easy thing to do for any of us. But if you are going to control your anxiety and your depression and your panic attacks and all of these things, then you're going to always want to make sure you're sowing good things. This is the way of peace. In the New Testament, there is a statement made by God in the Old Testament, repeated in the New Testament. It says, the way of peace they have not known. A troubled man is going to bring troubles upon himself and upon those that are around him. This is an inviolable law of God. So my advice to you and my hope for you is that you're always sowing good things. It's not easy. It's very difficult. but you want to always make sure you're sowing good things so that you could also reap good things. Just very quickly, yesterday I gave you a little assignment about deep breathing. 5 minutes of taking in very, very deep breaths and letting them out. 4 or 5 minutes. Deep breath in, deep breath out, deep breath in, deep breath out for 5 minutes. And to do that whenever you are reminded that, oh, I'm not breathing deeply, let me take some deep breaths. So a habit is built up so that you can create a physiological state in your body and in your brain that will keep you calm. So the lesson for today is this. As we hear it more in a more colloquial phrase, what you sow is what you reap. And I think that I would like to exhort you to pray not only for Alec Baldwin and his family, but to pray for the poor woman that was shot and killed and her family and all these people that are involved. Because once again, it was through dark moments for most of us that we ourselves were brought to Christ. And in the law of sowing and reaping, we hear this in the scriptures. He shall be judged without mercy who has shown no mercy. Be merciful. And in this case, in cases like this, let God be the judge. For his ways are beyond ours, and he is certainly capable of requiting evil for evil and also rewarding good for good. Let me pray for you today. Father, we are to be, as Christians, men and women of peace. This is my constant prayer for those who watch this broadcast, that they would be men and women of peace. I just pray that your peace would come today upon those watching this broadcast, and to bring a great serenity to their lives. Help them not to be caught up in all of the drama of this life, because it will not bring peace. Help us, God, to be the peacemakers that you said we should be. All right, thanks for being with me today. Once again, if you're interested in joining this small group that we have here on YouTube, please subscribe, hit the notification button, and also I'd appreciate a thumbs up. And if you don't like the content and you're just passing by and you're not going to subscribe, you can give me a thumbs down. It's okay. This is America, and we are entitled to our opinions. In any case, God willing, I will be with you here tomorrow, right on this spot, unless it rains, on the Oasis. God bless, and I will see you tomorrow.